No, I only go to his house a couple times a week, so no big deal. Got a wire.
Oh yeah, you're like 5'7", and you're doing an outstanding job.
Not a problem with copy. There's no QRM, nothing. Beautiful signal. And I got a 6-element beam. It's a TH6DX. It's an oldie. I got it from this other gentleman along with the tower. He's got some serious health problems and probably will become a silent T in 6 months or a year. So he said, yeah, I could have this stuff if I took it down. So I did. And then I brought it to my house and put it up. And so I have it aimed pretty much from San Diego. I'm aiming northeast. I aim it that way. I cover most of the country. But I'm only running 100 watts.
Oh boy, yeah, you're doing a fine job. The antenna makes a lot of difference. I can't go much. I couldn't go any higher really. I'm lucky to have an antenna up at all. I live in an area where the homeowners association doesn't allow any of that, but the neighbors have been good enough to let me do it, and I've sure enjoyed it.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty lucky. I'm in an area, my backyard. Well, like I said, I'm about 10 miles ocean, and I'm on a hill. My backyard at the mountain range. I have no obstruction at all. And I got a pretty good shot to the whole north and the whole east.
Oh, you're doing really good with it, Jerry. Do you know W6 IPT?
No, I do not.
That's Eddie. He's in Escondido, and that's pretty close to where you are.
Yeah, Escondido would be approximately 30 miles north of me.
Okay, yeah, he's right up on top of a hill there, and he checks in with us quite often. It's always good to hear him. He's been in here for years as well, and it's an old group, but Jerry, you're always welcome to join us, and I hope you do again.
Okay, I will try. I got your net and your frequency and your 1900 zoom down on my piece of paper, so now when I come into radio here tomorrow, I'll say, oh, this net is going on, or I'll click on it, or, you know, and if I get to you, I get to you. If I don't feel bad, because, like you said, I'm new at this, and I am learning as I go.
Well, you're doing fine. You know, it just takes a little bit of patience on your part to figure it all out and come on back in and enjoy all of it. We're here every day, well, Monday through Friday anyway, unless I happen to be out doing something and nobody can pick it up, which can occur. But just come on back anytime. You're all retired. What'd you do, Jerry?
I was a podiatrist for 36 years and had my wife was my office manager. She got tired and fed up with the Obamacare, and so she said, I'm quitting. If you want to keep working, you have to hire somebody else. And I said, you know what? I'm going to quit also.
Well, there you go. Now you can do something together besides work.
Yeah. It was a good job. I had a great time, and I did okay. And now we're sitting back and enjoying the fruits of our labor.
Well, that's what you're supposed to do. I'm retired, and Alan, he was a truck driver. He's retired, and that's what we do. We just play around now and have fun.
I do that, and I have other hobbies, too. I enjoy growing things. I got a nice garden. My wife said, oh, why don't you grow this? I said, well, you can't eat that, so.
Trying a few months as far as HF is concerned, but
there's not much we can do about it, so we just kind of roll with the punches. Anyway, thanks very much for the shout. Again, nice to hear you from that part of the world, and we're going to make a few more calls and see who else we can dig up here from our little location here in Yukon. So all the best there, Scotty. Whiskey 6 Romeo Oscar, Victor Yankee 1 Charlie Oscar.
Okay, Scott, Victor, Yankee 1, Charlie, Oscar. One thing I forgot. I need to give you a QSO number. That number is Echo 281. I repeat, Echo 281. If you ever are in need of a QSL card from the Queen Mary, that's what you need to use. I repeat, it's Echo 281. QSL?
Yep, copy that. Thanks very much. Echo 281. Appreciate that. 7-3.
Very good. 7-3, good day.
The Kilo 9 station again. Kilo 9 Romeo Juliet. I hope I have that right. You're a bit late here. Thanks very much for the call. The name is Scott, and we're located in the Yukon Territory. And I'll give you a better report on the next go around. Kilo 9 Romeo Juliet, Victor Yankee 1 Charlie Oscar. Okay, Harris, I think you turned it over to me. You went right down into to nothing there. So the QSB is really slow and deep, so it won't hold it too long. And appreciate the shout. Hopefully we can work again at some other point when conditions are a bit better. Kilo 9 Romeo Juliet, Victor Yankee 1 Charlie Oscar.
Whiskey 5 Uniform Juliet.
Whiskey 5 Uniform Juliet. Very good morning. Name is Scott.
Good morning, Scott. My name is Norm, November Oscar Romeo Mike, and we're located in Green Valley, Arizona. It's about 30 miles south of Tucson and about 30 miles north of the border with Mexico. And you are 5'9" plus down here. You're about a 10 to 20 over 9 down here this morning. Go ahead.
Okay, thanks very much for the report, Norm. Whiskey 5 Uniform Juliet, Victor Yankee 1 Charlie Oscar returning. Thanks for that. Yeah, you're a good S9 here, holding pretty steady at the S9 mark this morning, and nice to know the band is cooperating to some extent. We're running a little bit of power on this end, about a kilowatt into a hex beam at 60 feet. Hex beam at 60 feet, and using our old TS830S with a even older Heathkit SB220 amplifier. So that's the that's the arrangement on this end, Norm. Pretty mild day here today, all points considered, given the time of year. It is just right at the freezing mark. It is just literally at, well, it might be 31 degrees Fahrenheit, about -1 Celsius, and very, very mild for this time of year. Not very much snow on the ground. Normally in the Yukon we have a bit more snow by this time, and it wouldn't be unusual to be well into the -20s, but such is not the case. In fact, I think the coldest we've seen all year so far has been probably about 20 degrees Fahrenheit, so not very cold, at least compared to how things should be. Probably a little warmer down in your part of the world, hey, Chai. Whiskey 5 Uniform Juliet, Victor Yankee 1 Charlie Oscar.
Roger, VY1CO W5UJ. Very good, Scott. Yes, it's going to be a little bit warmer today. It's going to be about 71 degrees, although this morning it was in the lower 40s, and we have had days or mornings that have approached 32, but nothing yet below freezing. It's wintertime down here, and that's about what we're going to get. There may be a few days it'll get below freezing. I've never been to Yellowknife, or let's see, where is that you are? Heck. Is that Yellowknife where you're living?
No, negative. Yellowknife is in the Northwest Territories, so that's more in the central northern part of Canada. We're on the left side of your map there, the west side. So we are above British Columbia and beside Alaska. Over.
Okay, yeah, that's very true. I'm sorry, it's Whitehorse. Never been to Whitehorse, but I have sure flown over it a lot. I was an airline pilot, and we used to fly out of New York to Anchorage, and we would definitely fly over Whitehorse all the time. It was one of the nav aids there. So, yeah, we know right where on the map it is. I just had already entered you in the logbook, and all of your information as to your town went away. Anyway, very good on your station. Well, it's doing an excellent job for you, Scott. We're running a Kenwood TS1 or 590SG here, and it's going through an Amertron AL80B, and it's about a KW PEP, and it's going to a Mosley Pro 57B at about 60 feet also. Your X-Beam is doing a marvelous job. I've heard more and more people using that, and they all sound really good, and they have very strong signals. So that's a great antenna system. And lack of snow up there, I'm surprised. I thought now you'd have several feet of it. I guess I heard Fairbanks, Alaska yesterday had about an inch of snow. The west coast, or I should say the east coast down here, Georgia, Alabama, North Carolina, are all getting snow, and they've had, I think I heard about 500 accidents back there in about a 24-hour period. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, absolutely. When the weather on the East Coast turns nasty, and I'm sure you can appreciate it. Having been an airline pilot, it goes downhill very fast. It's been very mild here, and as I say, this time last year we were probably sitting around the minus 25 marker, so which is quite normal, healthy weather for up here in the Yukon. Fine on flying into Anchorage. I'm always amazed. In fact, I was out that way for work just a couple of months ago. We took the PC-12 out that way, and we had to drop in and see some folks that we do some work with with the state police and the FBI. And as we're taxiing down, I'm looking at all the cargo aircraft, and I thought, my goodness, what is going on here? There's not enough people in Alaska that could possibly consume all the stuff that's coming and going. But of course, as was pointed out to me, it's just kind of a convenient refueling depot on the way to the Orient, the Norm. A Whiskey 5 Uniform Juliet, VY1CO.
Yeah, VY1CO, Whiskey 5 Uniform Juliet. Well, that's who I flew for, was a cargo airline. Started with Flying Tigers 1974, and Anchorage was a big hub for us. I guess prior to that, when they had prop-driven aircraft, they used to go to Cold Bay for fuel. But then once the jets came in with the DC-8s and 7-4s, they'd go into Anchorage. And 1989, FedEx bought us and continued using Anchorage as a hub. And it's a very big hub for us, matter of fact. And as you say, it's not only refueling, but it's a big sort with aircraft coming in both directions from Asia and Europe and the States, and cargo being transferred and then shipped out again. So we had a lot of traffic going in and out of Anchorage, and I always enjoyed my layovers in Anchorage. Really have a lot of fun up there all times of the year, and I'm sure Whitehorse is the same way. You could have a lot of fun up there too. A lot of outdoor activities and hunting, and probably indoor activities too, which would be great. But was that your aircraft that you flew?
No, well, I mean it's our primary aircraft that we use. I'm in the RCMP, Royal Canadian Mounted Police, and so that's our divisional plane, the PC-12. In fact, right across the organization, we've adopted that airframe over the last several years simply because of its versatility. Over.
Yeah, I know that one. That's a great one with a turboprop in front, and it can carry quite a load. And Pilatus makes a great aircraft, and I'm sure it's pretty comfortable flying in too. Plus, you get up high enough, it's pressurized, and you can hopefully get out most of the turbulence. Although I do remember Anchorage, it can be extremely turbulent going in there too.
No, well, that was certainly the case when we were there this summer. It was, I don't know, I guess, being so close to the coast, you never know what you're going to be up against. But, no, it's a great aircraft. I really appreciate having it. It's got the gravel kit on it, so we can go into some of the smaller runways. And as you say, it can pack quite a load. And I think it kind of, we've been doing any long distance traveling in it, the pilot, I think he brings it up to around 19,000 feet or so, I guess depending on whatever requirements he has to meet. And it's very smooth, and it's almost as fast as a jet aircraft. I remember we had a citation for a while, and it got along pretty well, but not nearly as comfortable as the Pilatus. Over.
Okay, well that's nice to know. Yeah, and shorter hauls. Yeah, the Pilatus would, and the Citation would probably be equal. I remember one year, this is many years back ago, talking about hauling things. It was in the summer. We were in Abbotsford, British Columbia, and we were up there for about a month. It was we were on the salmon run, and we had a couple of DC-8s, and we would fly from Abbotsford to King Salmon and back, and pick up at King Salmon a DC-8 full of salmon to bring back. And, there was 100,000 pounds of salmon on board that each airplane. That was really a lot of fun also. We've had a lot of fun in Canada. Have some friends that own property just north of Vancouver, British Columbia. And they go up there, and they have a boat, and they're on a lake, inlet. I can't remember the name of it, but I've been up there, and a lot of fun. Anyway, do you get to travel around Canada with your profession?
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Whiskey 5, Uniform Juliet, Victor, Yankee 1, Charlie Oscar returning. No, I've been very fortunate. I'm approaching 30 years in now into the organization, and I've worked all over the country and traveled fairly extensively around the world for various projects and files and other investigations. So it's been a wonderful 30 years, and I don't know how much more time I'm going to put in. We'll just have to wait and see. Maybe I'll get to that point where I'll be like some of those guys. They say 2 bad days in a row, or if you run out of clean shirts. Over.
Yeah, I can understand that. Well, listen, be careful. There's a lot of nuts out there in the world, unfortunately, but I guess you have seen more than your share. Where are you from in Canada originally?
I'm born and raised in the Okanagan Valley, so from the Kelowna, Winfield, Vernon area, right dead center of the southern Okanagan.
Okay, very good. Well, good. So, you plan to? What do you plan to do after retirement, or have you thought that far ahead?
Well, I think it'll depend a lot on the XYL here as well. She was somewhat reluctant to come up to Yukon. I lived up here in the 70s as a kid for a couple of years, so I had a better idea as to what to expect. But we've got 9 acres outside of town. As I say, we're about 40 minutes north of Whitehorse. And I've got plenty of room. I've got some pretty nice views. The house is fairly new, so we're quite comfortable here. And so I don't know where we would go to improve on what we have. I think it would be more a question of if it was just more convenient for other, be it the kids or what have you. So we're gonna wait and see what happens over the next year or two. But I suspect if things go the way we would like, I think we might end up retiring here, and it would be rather pleasant. We've got plenty of work left to do on the outside of the property, and with 9 acres, as you can imagine, there's always something to do. But it's kind of a wait and see right now because there's so many changes going on within the organization. You just never know when they're going to say, "Hey, we have another project for you. Should you decide to accept it?" And you never know. That might force my hand as well there, Norm. Back to you.
Yeah, very good. VY1CO W5UJ. I can understand that, Scott. Yeah, dangling a carrot in front of you. Well, I started flying in 1968, and I retired at the end of 2006, and I retired off of the MD-11. And the routes I enjoyed flying were the Pacific, and of course, we'll always come back through Anchorage or go out to Anchorage to start off. So they were always fun. What's the population of Whitehorse? Go ahead.
Well, on a good day, you might have about